Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about belonging. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, Frederick, how can a new software engineer get a sense of belonging in the new team? Here is where I have to tell you something that might be a little bit tricky to hear, and that is that that's actually not something that you can control. What I mean by that is that a sense of belonging is a very complicated emotion that only you know how you get to feel that emotion. This is why I argue that a lot of these philosophical, ideologies and ways of how we try to influence people into thinking that there is a higher truth or there is a way of doing things that are going to make them feel this or that and so forth. Guys, almost every single solution that involves your emotional state is a very complicated and very often individual topic. This is why it's very difficult for you to go and get, holistic medicine or like treatments or things like that. And this is why some people will tell you that they swear by crystals because crystals always help, whereas there's actually no scientific proof whatsoever for that helping, because it's an emotional thing. It's the same thing why some people almost find, they almost become spiritual from practicing yoga. Some people have a great benefit from getting some help from a psychiatrist. Some people never, ever, like they can pour money for the rest of their life into psychology or like going to therapy and so forth, and it might help a little bit, but it never really fixes the problem. Same thing with going to Weight Watchers or something like that. When it comes to your emotional state, it's really difficult for someone on the outside to be able to figure out what's going to help you on the inside in many cases. If you are lucky, if you are very lucky, I'd like to say that if you are just the right type of person for the treatment, it's going to work every single time. But there's a big if. And the sense of belonging, my friend, is the same sort of problem. The thing that makes you feel a sense of belonging, well, only you know how that happens. And I promise you, it's not always as easy as, you're going to be really helpful or you're going to start contributing or you're going to try to do your best or something like that. Because the reality is that maybe your sense of belonging also, it's usually reciprocal. Usually it's a symbiotic type of thing, right? You have coworkers who show you appreciation. Maybe your sense of belonging comes from the fact that these people actually show a real interest in your development and treat you really nice, and this is where it gets really difficult, because how would you be able to fix that if you don't get that from the team? What if you get put in, which is a classic one, a junior software developer gets put in a team of two super senior software developers who work as engines, as I like to call them. They have no interest whatsoever in the existence of this junior. They don't try to help really. It's not because they're mean, it's just because they don't care. They have their own, they don't think about it, and the junior is usually too intimidated to ask for help, and if they do, they don't get it or something like that, or like the seniors, sometimes it's the wrong senior, but in many cases it's just that they don't really think so much about other people. They're just there to do their job. They're gonna clock out. They're gonna pick up their kids later. There's gonna be school in the morning, etc. They have their own life. They don't think about the junior. They're not even concerned with that person, right? And so how do you fix that? How do you get a sense of belonging in that situation? Well, the sad answer is that you don't. It's that simple. You are at an impasse. You need something from the team to feel a sense of belonging that they are either unwilling or completely incapable of giving. And nothing you do as an individual is going to solve that. It's as I like to say, the best type of problem that you can have is the sort of problem where you can go and fix it yourself. The worst type of problem is when you need somebody else to fix it for you. Because if somebody else needs to do it, and somebody else needs to be the one responsible for making it happen, then the only thing you can do is just share them on and hope that they're gonna do it the right way. Imagine, I'm not gonna go down that route, but I imagine a lot of ladies who are scared to talk openly about to their partners in bed feel similar sort of frustration sometimes. Anywho, the one thing I can give you that is probably well, the best tip I can give you is that the sense of belonging comes down to you figuring out what is it that you feel a sense of belonging to. And when you figure that out, you can make adjustments. If you're really lucky, your sense of belonging comes from feeling meaning in your work. That is as I said, that's the good problem, because that's a problem that you can control yourself. Because you can find meaningful work, and it's not that difficult in many cases to find meaningful work. However, as I said, if you have the bad problem and you need someone else to show you that you exist, or like show you appreciation and so forth, that is a much more difficult problem, especially in a professional environment, because now all you can do is to go by trial and error. That's it. Or ideally, and this is me pushing my own agenda a little bit here, and that is to learn how to build personal strength. Learn how to create your own sense of belonging without having to depend too much on other people. I'm not saying that other people are bad. I'm saying that if you are very, very sensitive and very dependent on external influences in order to feel positive emotions, that is a very, very hard spot to sit in, especially when you are in need of it in an environment where it's actually not a requirement for anybody to do that. Usually getting a sense of camaraderie or like love and things like that is sort of built into the requirements of having like a private relationship or something like that. But in a professional one, a sense of belonging, that's like a luxury to have, and it's not the norm, but you can fix it. All you have to do is to go on the hunt for another job in a company that seems to be really good at that sort of stuff. But as I said, it always helps if you start by understanding what is the thing that gives you a sense of belonging, because some people get it from, as I said, the meaningfulness of the work, and some people get it from that there's a really nice office vibe when they come into the office and everybody seems to be really happy and smiling all the time. So what I want you to take away from this is that sense of belonging, or how you can fix that in a team, is that it's really difficult, because it starts with you understanding yourself to the point where you understand what do you get a sense of belonging from. And as I said, if you have the easy problem, it's usually something that you can control yourself, and you simply have to actually feel like you're making meaningful contributions within the team. And that is a very good thing, because that's usually something that you can almost always do, or at the very least you can find somewhere where you can do it in a fairly fairly straightforward process to fix that problem, because it's a problem that you can influence directly yourself and go on the hunt and fix yourself, and just take care of, right? But if you have the other problem, which is the hard problem, where other people have to be something or feel a certain way or do something in a certain way and so forth, then as I was saying or referring to earlier, the only thing you can sort of do is to try to communicate to people what you need from them and hope and pray that they can make that happen for you. And if they can't, you are, well, screwed or not screwed, depending on how you look at how you want to look at it. And all you can really do is to try to find other people or something else that can fulfill whatever it is that you need emotionally, right? And as a side tip, I give you that as a personal value of mine. I do believe that the best thing that you can do for yourself is always try to build your own personal strength to the point where your emotional state is much more dependent and much more influenced on your own way of thinking and how you perceive yourself and how you do things and how proud you are over the things that you are doing, instead of it being very much down to what external factors are influencing you at the moment. Have a great day.